I'm here at the CII, and with us on this morning is Mr. Ajay Shriram. He's the President-Designate of CII. Very little elbow room, Mr. Shriram, for Mr. Chidambaram as it is. What really is the industry expecting from him? It's an interim budget. Everyone is saying don't keep your expectations too high. But what are the key points that you're looking at?
I think, as you rightly said, it is an interim budget. It is really just, I think, to lay down the finances for the next 4 months. I think the government does not have much leeway in terms of making any changes on the tax structure. Those surcharges and a couple of things they can work around with if they want to. But I think he's going to try to continue focusing on the strength of the investments which he's pushing for the last 1 year. If you see, Mr. Chidambaram has really got the Competition Commission very activated. They've actually pushed almost 4 lakh crore worth of projects. Issues between centre and states. They have set up systems to push at the state level too. I think he's going to try to give a continued focus and thrust on that, because infrastructure is the key, really, if you look at any investments going forward. I think that is one. Secondly, I think current account deficit is another area where he's going to focus on. And what one is hearing, if it is achieved at a level of 3% or below, it's a good direction for the country. However, I think this time is really just a makeshift position of ensuring finances are available to run the government for the next 4 months. Let's say end of May, whenever the new government comes in, they will actually lay down the policy for the balance of the year. So I think it is really a continuation of what has been happening.
But also at the same time, it will be an opportunity for Mr. Chidambaram, before the UPA goes in for elections, to illustrate how well his government has done over the last 10 years. Do you think that's really going to be possible, given how practically every analysis we see of the government's performance is at best not very encouraging, at worst really critical?
I think last 2-3 years have been really stressed. There's no two ways. For us to come at 5% or below GDP growth for a country like India has major ramifications in terms of our employment generation, in terms of revenue generation, in terms of government spending on social projects. All this gets affected because government has to get money from somewhere. However, if you see 2002-03 to 8-9, during those 4-5 years, India had an average GDP growth of over 9%. So we can do it. Our advantage is, again, 85% of our economy is domestic. So we can get the domestic momentum going. Yes, last 2 years have been stressed. I think that's where possibly implementation has not happened. Policies are in place. The issue is implementation of policies to ensure there is growth. He will definitely try to show what has been done, how to, show that the poverty levels have come down, the economic activity has gone up, and I think government has spent a lot on the social side. So I'm sure that will also be highlighted strongly.
In fact, that's my final question to you. Do you think that fiscal discipline was sacrificed at the altar of populism, and that's really been the downfall of this government?
It's always a delicate balance. I mean, we are all, as industry, we genuinely believe that those who deserve to get, let's say, food at a low price or facilities at a low price should get it. The issue is targeting those correctly. I mean, like Aadhaar is a fantastic scheme. It's unfortunate, if I may say so, that let's say for LPG, they've decided not to use the Aadhaar system for giving money to the people who deserve it. I think Aadhaar must carry on. Money must go where people deserve it. But let's do it in a targeted manner so it reaches who is supposed to reach. I think that is the challenge in front of the government.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. In fact, through the day also, you'll keep hearing the biggest voices in Indian business right here from CII for the time being.